In Nehemiah 13:11, he says this: "So I rebuked the officials and asked them, 'Why is the house of God neglected?' Then I called them together and stationed them at their posts." So Nehemiah reminds me a lot of Jesus, because both of them were servant leaders who sacrificed a lot for their people. And both of them had a zeal for God's house to be honored. Like, most notably, Jesus, he had a zeal for God's temple to be cleansed, and he drove out the merchants. And so Nehemiah, he was the governor of the Israelites, and then he helped rebuild the walls in Jerusalem. And once he did his due diligence, he left Jerusalem and went back to the king of Persia, because earlier in his life he was the king's cupbearer. So when Nehemiah was in the presence of the Israelites in Jerusalem, they were on their P's and Q's and doing what they were supposed to be doing, because they were held accountable. However, the moment he left, they relapsed, and they committed sexual immorality. They didn't honor the Sabbath, and they didn't maintain the temple. So when Nehemiah returned back to Jerusalem to check up on them, he flipped out, because he saw that they were being disobedient and not following God when he was absent, when Nehemiah was absent. And he most notably says, "Why is God's house neglected?" Like, when Jesus ascended to the Father, and then left us physically, and then is going to return, we need to ask ourselves, like, are we honoring God's temple? Because believers themselves are God's temple, and then the body of Christ is God's temple. So when he returns, like Nehemiah did, we need to ask ourselves, is he going to come back and see us being lackadaisical and not taking things seriously? Or is he going to come back and see us holding each other accountable, being joyful, encouraging each other, and like purging out sin? Like, which one is Jesus going to see?